The San Francisco 49ers just signed an absolute beast on the defensive line in Kerry Hyder, who was a key contributor in 2020 and 2022 for the 49ers. But who exactly is Kerry Hyder? And how did he get to this point? In this video, I'm going to give you a full breakdown of his football journey from his high school days to his college career, from his draft process to his NFL experience, and from his strengths and weaknesses to his fit with the 49ers. Let's start from the beginning. Kerry Hyder was born May 2nd, 1991 in Austin, Texas. He attended LBJ High School, where he played both defensive end and tight end. He was rated a 3-star recruit by Rivals.com, and he received offers from several schools, including Texas Tech, Baylor, Colorado, Houston, and SMU. Ultimately, Kerry Hyder chose to play for Texas Tech, where he became a 4-year starter and a 2-time All-Big 12 selection. At Texas Tech, Hyder played both defensive tackle and defensive end, and a lot of this had to do with the scheme that Texas Tech was running when he did switch in from defensive tackle to defensive end and vice versa. But what this highlights is that Kerry Hyder is an extremely versatile defensive line player that fits in nicely with the San Francisco 49ers due to this versatility. But back to the story. At Texas, Hyder was a disruptive force across the line due to his quickness, strength, and leverage. Especially when he was on the interior, this quickness and strength helped him penetrate the backfield, and he finished his college career with some staggering numbers. He finished his college career with 176 tackles, 11 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. Hyder entered the 2014 NFL Draft as a projected late-round pick or an undrafted free agent. He measured at 6'2" and 290 pounds. Some other measurables was he ran a 5.10 second 4-yard dash and did 20 reps on the bench press. He was praised for his versatility, motor, production, but was criticized for his lack of size, length, and explosiveness. Here's what NFL.com said about him. Undersized, thickly built, active defensive lineman with tweener traits, lacks ideal explosiveness and flexibility, but his hand use, competitiveness, and motor could enable him to fight for a rotational spot. Ultimately, the concerns of the NFL weighed out, and Hyder went undrafted in 2014, but he signed with the New York Jets as a free agent. He spent most of his rookie season on the practice squad. Later, in 2015, Hyder signed with the Lions. But it's 2016 under Kris Kocurek when Hyder played his best. And Kris Kocurek is also the current defensive line coach for the San Francisco 49ers. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. He played all 16 games in this season in 2016 for the Lions. And he had a breakout season. As I mentioned, he played in all 16 games with 2 starts at defensive end. And he led the team with 8 sacks under Kris Kocurek. And he was really a bright spot on a Lions defense that did really not a whole lot. However, Hyder's momentum was halted by a devastating injury in 2017 preseason. He tore his Achilles on the first series of the first game and was placed on IR, ending a season before it even began. Hyder returned to the Lions in 2018, but he was not the same player he was in 2016. He played in 7 games with 1 start and was largely ineffective this year. On March 18, 2019, the Dallas Cowboys signed Hyder to a 1-year, $1 million contract that included $300,000 of guaranteed money. In week 7 that year, Hyder recovered a fumble lost by Carson Wentz. He was a backup, appearing in all 16 games while posting 19 tackles, 2 for loss, 1 sack, 19 quarterback pressures, and 1 fumble recovery. Hyder reunited with Kris Kocurek in San Francisco, where he signed a deal with the 49ers in 2020. And Kris Kocurek is someone that consistently is able to get the most out of Hyder if you recall to his times with the Lions. And in 2020, Hyder had another breakout season under Kris Kocurek when he stepped up as the team's top pass rusher when Nick Bosa suffered a season-ending ACL injury in Week 2. He played all 16 games with 14 starts at defensive end and led the team with 8.5 sacks. He was one of the few bright spots on the 49ers defense that year, or you could really even say the whole team, because that was a down year for the 49ers. Hyder left the 49ers in free agency in 2021, and he signed a deal with the Seattle Seahawks. During his time at Seattle, he recorded only 1 sack and 3 pass breakups in 16 games. He was released by the Seattle Seahawks in March 2022. He subsequently re-signed with the 49ers, and during last year, he registered 4 sacks. And it wasn't really an amazing year, but it wasn't as down of a year as previous years. So he became a free agent again this year and was on the market for over a month before the 49ers decided to bring him back in. So what are Hyder's strengths and weaknesses as a player, and how does he fit with the 49ers defense? Hyder's strengths are his versatility, motor, and production. He can play both on the edge and inside, depending on the situation and scheme. He can rush the passer from different angles and techniques, using his quickness, strength, and leverage to beat blockers. He can also hold his own against the run, setting the edge or clogging the gaps. He plays with a high effort level and never gives up on a play. He's shown that he can produce when given the opportunity. Hyder's weaknesses are his lack of size, length, and explosiveness. He is undersized for a defensive lineman at 6'2" and 290 pounds. He does not have long arms or big hands to keep blockers off his body. He's not a speed rusher or a bendy edge rusher. He can struggle to finish plays or chase down mobile quarterbacks. He can also get overpowered by bigger or stronger offensive linemen, especially in the run game. Hyder's fit with the 49ers defense is ideal though, as he knows the system and the coach very, very well. As mentioned, Hyder has played with Kris Kocurek during his time with the Lions and San Francisco, and he has thrived in his wide 9 alignment and aggressive style. He can play both on the inside and also on the edge, depending on the situation and personnel. Hyder will provide some much needed depth and versatility to the 49ers defensive line, which already has features like Nick Bosa and last year's draft pick of Drake Jackson. Hyder will compete for the starting job opposite Nick Bosa, who had such an amazing season last year. He will also rotate inside on passing downs, where he can use his quickness and leverage to create pressures. Hyder is a perfect fit for the 49ers defense, which relies on generating pressures with the front four. He has proven that he can produce in the scheme and has a great relationship with Kocurek. He will also bring some veteran leadership and experience to the locker room, which will help the younger players on the team, like Drake Jackson I just mentioned. The 49ers are making a statement with this signing alongside some of their other great signings like Javon Hargrave. They are not satisfied with their defense. They're not afraid to make these moves and improve it. They're showing they're serious about contending for the Super Bowl this year. So now that I just talked for a while, I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you think about the San Francisco 49ers signing Kerry Hyder? And who do you think is going to start opposite Nick Bosa now that Omenihu and Samson Ebukam are gone? I would personally like to see Drake Jackson maybe get a shot at it, but those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. It'd also help out a ton if you subscribe, like, and share this video. I appreciate you guys so much.